Okay, good evening, guys. Good evening. Welcome to our fifth lockdown session for IGR Rugby. Welcome. If you've been before, you guys will know the structure by now. If you don't know, you will catch on pretty quickly. I am sure you'll catch on pretty quickly. Right, what we're going to focus on, like we focused on over the last couple of weeks, is a little bit of a warm-up, a main strength section, and also when we finish the main strength section, we then move into a more high-intensity interval training section. When we get to that last section, you guys will just simply choose what the right level for you is, okay? Because there are a few different options when we get to that stage. I don't think my microphone's working at the minute, but I'll just talk louder. I'll be happy enough with that, and I'll maybe see if I can sort that out halfway through. Right, so we're going to start off with a little bit of a warm-up. We're going to start out with a little bit of a warm-up, and what is going to happen with that there, guys, we're going to start off with a set of walkouts is what we're going to begin with. So just give us a quick thumbs up just on the cameras there if you can hear me. Hang on a sec. What have we got there?
We can hear you, Neil. We can hear you.
Yeah. Excellent. We can be heard. That's much better. Fantastic. So what we are going to go for, guys, warm-up wise, want you to start this one right away. So we're going to start off with walkouts, one of my favorites. We're going to cycle our way through a few different exercises based around this walkout. So try to keep the legs as straight as you can. So if you need to, you can bend them, but try and keep your legs straight. Walk out into press-up position, and from there, just walk back up onto your feet. So you're going to work your way between those two positions, walking out, press-up position, walk back up onto your feet. Just nice and smooth, nice and easy. You're not trying to fly into it too quickly. We're going to go for 1 minute. We're going to go for 1 minute without just walking out and walking back in. With that walkout, so just into that press-up position. Now, what I want you to do is try and finish in that press-up position there, solid through the body. Don't allow yourself to drop into low position. I'm trying not to finish off in a downward dog. You try and get forward into that press-up position, getting your shoulders and core warmed up. Now, next one we're going to come into is a low cobra, and we're going to work between that and a little bit of a cycle. So still, on your next time that you walk out, I want you to stay down in that press-up position. You're going to come low down to the floor, low cobra. And we're going to cycle between downward facing dog, which is that position, rock forward, chest onto the floor, and low cobra. So cycle through those positions. So again, hips up, rock forward, chest down, chest up. Nice and smooth. Don't force the movement. If you tend to have quite a tight lower back, you can come into that variation where you keep your forearms on the floor. You don't have to force the movement. All we're looking to do is to warm up at this stage. Next one we're going to come into is still going to be based on that downward facing dog. So from that position, we're going to come into a half pigeon pose. So you're going to bring your shin across your mat, down onto the floor, and then straight back into that downward facing dog, and then same thing on the other side. So if you can't quite see that, so from the other angle, when you come forward, you're going to try and place your shin across your body in that position, and then when you come back up, you come from that half pigeon back into downward facing dog. So hips up into the air, and then do the same thing on the other side. So as soon as you start to feel that stretch around the glutes, around the hip, you immediately stop and swap to the other side. Again, you work your way back, work your way forward. And from there, we're going to come into camel and cat as the next one. We're only going to spend 30 seconds on the next one. Camel and cat, so on all fours, come into that arch, the back, and then round the back. So arch, the back, and round the back. So it's that Not trying to force the movement. We're not trying to make it too intense. We're just getting things moving to begin with. After 30 seconds, we're going to thread the needle. And threading the needle is reaching one hand underneath your armpit. So you're going to swap underneath your hand, underneath the armpit, reach under as far as you can, and then reach hand up towards the ceiling, hand under, and up towards the ceiling. That's just that. Go for 30 seconds on one side. Just that twist. Nice deep twist underneath and up to the sky each time. That twist and raise. Twist and raise. From there, we're going to swap sides, same thing. So twist underneath and reach hand to the sky. So opposite sides. Twist your hand under the sky. Don't know why it's called thread the needle. Don't know if any of you have done much sewing, but I've never been able to thread a needle just as easy as reaching my hand underneath there. A twist. We're going to come back. We're going to work our way back up that ladder. So now we're coming back to that camel and cat. So into that arch and round again. Again, we're still not forcing the movement. We're still just trying to get the movement through the body, through the spine. Trying just to get that major joints warmed up, ready for the session ahead. We're then going to come back into that downward facing dog, into half pigeon. So again, down dog, rock forward, shin across the body. This time we're going to make it a little bit more intense. When you've done that, lower your body down, then straight back up, back to the down dog. So again, shin across the body, lower down, come back up, and back to down dog. So you just lower into that stretch a little bit more each time. Just trying to get that coming around the glutes, around the hips. So at this stage, shoulders should be well warmed up. They've been involved in everything. Don't worry, you will get an opportunity to rest. Oh, forgot to go drop my body weight in that one. And then we come back into our first cycle, which comes down to your chest to floor and low cobra. And again, from there, if you want to come back into child's pose at any stage, give your shoulders a bit of a break, that's fine. From there comes into hips up, rock forward, and cobra. Hips up, rock forward, and cobra. Now, like I say, at any stage, if you need that break, just rock back, push your hips back, feel that stretch across your lower back, stretch your arms out in front, focus on your breathing. And then the very last part, last minute, back into walkout. So back up onto your feet this time, reach overhead as you stand up, come back down, walk out into that press up position, one press up this time. So again, just upping the intensity ever so slightly, and just hands above the head, down to the floor, walk out. Now, some excellent news about Touch My Bum being organized again, hopefully, fingers crossed, with the positives that we are seeing with the vaccine rollout, and things along those lines, that will be able to go ahead. We hope, because it may be my first ever Touch My Bum tournament. I think I'll be trying to go to every tournament available as we go forward. Okay, guys, 10 seconds of rest. Not 10 seconds of rest, what am I saying? 10 seconds of rest. 2 minutes of rest, sorry, 2 minutes of rest. 2 minutes of rest. So we're moving into our strength section. So rest there, guys. Rest there if you're not resting already. Let's go into our strength section. Now, we are repeating this from one of our previous weeks. We're repeating this from one of our previous weeks. What we looked at a few weeks ago was some rows, press-ups, and squats. Now, hopefully you guys seen the video on the IGR workouts page, but if you didn't, what you will need is like a beach towel or quite a big towel. Throw it over the top of a door and close the door tight, and that'll give you something to do doorway rows on. Now, because I'm actually in our gym, we've got these ropes, which I'm going to use. But if you imagine that's a towel across the top of the door, it's lying back into it, pulling chest up and back down. That is your doorway row. Now, if you're doing the doorway row, your circuit for the next 10 minutes becomes 5 row, 5 press-ups, and 5 squats. Okay, that is 1 round, and you do as many rounds as you can. So again, your 5 rows, which is just demoed on the ropes, your 5 squats, squatting down and back up, and 5 press-ups as well. So chest onto the floor and back up. However, if you don't have access to the doorway or a sturdy doorway, or even if you just don't have a big enough towel to do that exercise, you don't have to do it. The alternative is that you do 10 press-ups and 10 squats as 1 round, okay? So 10 press-ups and 10 squats is 1 round. So if everybody is ready, we are going to go for our 10-minute block. 10-minute block starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let's go. 10 minutes starts now. So 5 rows, 5 press-ups, 5 squats, or 10 press-ups, 10 squats. Now, because I've got the ropes, I'm going to do the 5, 5, and 5. That's my choice. Now, if you did do this a few weeks ago, obviously I can see that the class is a little bit busier than it was a few weeks ago, which is great. As always, welcome to everybody that I don't recognize, and welcome back to everybody that I do. If you did do this a few weeks ago, hopefully you did what you were supposed to do and you recorded how far you got, how many rounds you completed. If you did that, brilliant, well done. Your goal today over this next 10-minute block is to try and beat that previous score, Again, that's that 1. Now, at any stage during this, if you need a rest, if you need a drink, you just stop, have a rest, have a drink. Work your way through as necessary. Don't feel that you have to keep slamming through it and just bang, 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 bang all the way through. The goal on this is good quality work all the way through, okay? The goal is good quality work. What I don't want to see, or don't want to see on the cameras, is that you guys are flying through, but that the quality of the work that you do begins to drop because you're fatigued. I want to see the same quality in the final minute as we do in the first minute. We are already 1 minute and 45 seconds gone. So I've only done 1 round, so I better get myself going. Hopefully you guys have done a few more. So try and set yourself a movement standard. So we talked about this previously. Guys that have done this class a couple of times will know what I mean. So a movement standard is set yourself a target of what you want to hit. So if you start off in the first minute that you have done your press-ups on your toes, you will do your press-ups on your toes all the way through. If that means you have to take a rest every couple of minutes because you can't keep going, so be it, okay? You take that rest because you do the press-ups on your toes all the way through. That is your standard all the way through. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to have done it. If you've already started on your knees, stay on your knees. That is your standard. These standards are very personal. They are just movement standard because it's very difficult to compare rounds against each other if you are not doing the same exercise or as close to the same exercise as you've previously done. So if you set yourself these standards, you then aim to beat those standards. You aim to beat that marker, and you know that you have made significant progress that way. Now, I am pleased to report that it is not as cold as it has been in this gym. There has been, I think Saturday in this gym was the first time I ever thought, do you know what, it's that cold, I might die. I was here for about 5 hours, no heat, training people outdoors. To be fair, even in here, when I was taking the online session in here on Saturday morning at 9 a.m. for my gym members, there's no heating in this building. It's an old warehouse building, so it was just as cold as outside, which was not a pleasant experience, I will have to admit. Now again, make a note of how many rounds that you've done or are doing, because we're going to try and beat that round again in a couple of weeks' time. So no matter where you get to on this, your goal is to try and beat it down the line. Because individually, a workout doesn't really mean much, but a workout means a lot more the further and further you get into those scenarios, the further and further you go through a workout. So by that, I mean, if you do one workout every 6 months, it's unlikely you're going to see much progress, because you're not really pushing yourself to improve and to push on to that next step. However, if you move from, if you do one session a week, and every week you try to do 1 kilo heavier on your bench press, or 1 kilometer an hour faster on the treadmill, or you try to run for a minute longer overall, or you do more sets, or you do more reps, you're aiming to make yourself stronger, you're aiming to improve your fitness. That's what we do. So again, what you score today marks you out today, and today only. What you do tomorrow, the next day, the day after, next week, a couple of weeks down the line, by repeating these workouts, by pushing yourself that little bit harder than you previously have, that will be your marker for improvement each time. You are well over halfway through. You are 5 minutes and 45 seconds gone. Let's keep working. So again, I'm only on my 4th round. You guys, I hope, are well beyond that. Now again, it's either 5 rows, 5 press-ups, 5 squats, or 10 press-ups, 10 squats. Now again, it doesn't really matter which variation of those workouts that you've chosen. The goal is just that you work hard all the way through. Now, so again, set that standard for yourself. So don't make it easier. Don't cheat yourself. I mean, if you want, you cheat yourself, that's fine. It's not really going to affect my workout. It's not going to affect anybody else's workout. It will affect your workout. Again, like I said before, stop anytime you need to. Grab yourself a drink if necessary. Where are we at? 3 minutes left to go. 3 minutes left. Now, we've got a fairly special finisher in place. It's one I like to do every now and again. It's a challenge, but again, you can set the challenge for yourself. There's an easy, a medium, and a hard option. But don't worry, I'll tell you exactly what you have to do. So I'm not going to try and trick you by telling you to choose the hard option. I will tell you exactly what's expected, and you guys choose what you want to do. So again, working your way through, making a note of how many rounds you've completed. You've got just 2 minutes out of the 10 remaining. Now, I have to say, I'm glad last week that I was rather restrained and didn't make fun of England's loss, because I feel like you guys would be getting your own back on me right about now. It's been a rather disappointing first 2 weeks of the Six Nations for us Ireland fans. But as far as Six Nations go, I hope you guys have been enjoying it. There's been some decent rugby played, and also seeing quite a lot of upsets. Has been quite entertaining. It's not fun watching the favourites win every game. You know, it's nice to see the little guys like the Scottish win a game or two. And I'm just waiting, see if I can hear any Scottish members starting to kick off with me. I'll say it's a good thing. Obviously, you've already said that you guys can hear me. There is something wrong with the microphone that I'm not getting any feedback at all at the moment. So I'll just imagine what any of the Scottish guys are probably calling me at the minute. So 30 seconds remaining. At this stage, try and push yourself that little bit harder. Now you can start to work. Fatigue can play a part in it. And I want you to lean into that fatigue, but don't let the movement quality drop, even now. Okay, so keep working. You've still got 15 seconds remaining. Still 15 seconds remaining. Now, the last bit is only going to last 15 minutes. That is all, but it is going to be tough. It is going to be very tough. And time on the strength section, guys. Time. So make a note of how many rounds you completed. If you have done this one previously with me, or a few weeks ago when we did it, give us a quick thumbs up if you managed to beat your previous score. If you didn't, so be it, okay? It's not the end of the world. Your goal is to try and beat it next time around, okay? Sometimes you will have an off day, but generally you want that trend to go up, your improvement to go up. So what we are coming into, guys, okay, is going to be an every minute on the minute, okay? Every minute on the minute. Now what's going to happen is it's going to be burpees, X number of burpees, we'll say for now, plus 20 mountain climbers. Now there are two versions of burpees that I want to use. I'll demo both of those first, and you can choose either one. So the slightly harder one is a chest to floor burpee. So hands down, chest onto the floor, and explode back up. Slightly easier version, if you choose it, is going to be a straight arm burpee. Hands down, feet out, feet in, jump up. So there's no chest to floor at that stage. Now, you're also going to do, I'm getting down ahead of time, you're also going to do 20 mountain climbers. That's 10 on each leg every time. So it would be 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 every round. Now, here's the kicker. What's going to happen is every minute, you're going to add one burpee to your target. So in minute 1, if you choose the easy option, you will do 1 burpee plus 20 mountain climbers. In minute 2, you'll do 2 burpees and 20 mountain climbers. In minute 3, 3 burpees and 20 mountain climbers, and so on. So you just add one every single round for 15 minutes. Now, that's the easy option. The medium option, you start at number 5, so you start at 5 burpees and continue to add one. The hard option, you start on 7 burpees, okay? You start on 7 burpees and you add one each round. Now, it's up to you guys to keep track. I'll try my best to try and keep track of it as we go along, but very simply, you either start on 1, 5, or 7, okay? So 1, 5, or 7. Make your choice. You've got about another 30 seconds to make that choice. Now, I'm going to cop out because I'm taking the session. I'm going to take the easy option. I'm going to start with 1. I suspect I'm not even going to do the whole workout because I don't know if I'd be able to talk and do the same thing. But every round you will do your burpees plus 20 mountain climbers. Now, if you reach a stage where you can no longer squeeze in the burpees, your goal is to take away 4 reps. So take away 4 reps and just repeat that round to the end. So if you make it to 15 burpees and then you can't squeeze in anymore, you go back, you do 11 burpees, 20. 11 burpees, 20 mountain climbers. 11 burpees, 20 mountain climbers for the rest of the time. That's if you reach failure. Hopefully everybody understands what I mean. Let's get myself going now with my timer. So we are going to start. Everyone ready to go? So again, your first one is either 1, 5, or 7 burpees plus 20 mountain climbers. Starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Off we go. So timer is running, guys. Timer is running. Let's turn that volume up on it. So again, I'm doing the easier option. I'm going to do the harder burpee. So chest to floor. And then the 20 mountain climbers. That's 10 per leg for the mountain climbers. Now, because I've chosen the easy option, that does give me an opportunity to rest. But however quickly you get it done, you get an opportunity to rest until the end of that minute. So the faster you get the work done, the more rest that you get. So this time, make sure you're going hell for leather, hard as you can possibly go. So the next round is either 2, 6, or 8 burpees. Going in, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. You can hear that beep, hopefully. So, actually, you might not if it's going through the microphone. So again, goes up in 1 every round. So each round gets progressively harder. Each round gets progressively harder. Now, it doesn't matter if you've chosen easy, medium, or hard. If you work as hard as you can through that round, you will be doing fantastic, okay? So even if you've chosen easy, go through it as hard as you possibly can. Now, I've done that, and it took me 10, 15 seconds, but my goal is to get through as quick as I can so it gives me more rest. I could slow myself right down, take my time, spend 30 or 40 seconds doing that. That's not the point. It's being explosive. Ready? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. So this time, 3, 7, or 9. 3, 7, or 9. Let's go. So again, the more time you get, the better. Now again, when you reach, or if you reach failure, some of you guys might be able to get through all 15 minutes without stopping, without having to drop any burpees. But if you fail to do all your burpees and all your mountain climbers, you'll take 4 burpees away and then just repeat that round. 2, 1, let's go. So we're on to 4. So we're on to 4 this time. So 4, 8, or 10. 4, 8, or 10. So really get those legs sprinting quick as you can. Again, some of you might be finding that you're struggling with shoulders, so you can do as an option is do bicycle crunch. So you can do as an alternative is that bicycle crunch instead of your mountain climbers. But if you can keep doing mountain climbers, keep going. Ready? And let's go. So we're up to 5, 5, 9, or 11. 5, 9, or 11. So remember where you're at. Remember where you got to in previous rounds. And you're going to try and improve upon that. So you will get less and less rest as this goes on. Let's have a little look around the cameras. Now again, obviously, if you're in an apartment, if you have any knee or ankle issues, just take the jump out of the burpee. So you don't jump up at the top. So you take the impact out of the exercise. That is absolutely fine. In fact, actively encouraged. Now, I would expect probably that most people will feel at some stage. I mean, technically I feel now because I'm skipping around, but that won't count. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Next round. So we are up to 6 burpees. So 6, 10, 12, 6, 10, 12. That is your options. That is your options this time. So 6, 10, 12. So easy, medium, hard. Now remember, if or when you feel, take away 4 from your score and just repeat that round until we're done. It is simple and it is effective. It is simple and it is effective. It is very, very effective. What I'm going to do, I'm going to grab a scrap of paper, write down the numbers so I don't have to keep thinking about it. Give me 2 seconds. We're about to start the next round in 15 seconds. 15 seconds. So let's keep working. So this round is 6, 10, 12. Off we go. Next round. So we're up to lucky number 13. So 7, 11, 13. 7, 11, 13. Those are your options now. Good. Looking at over at the cameras because I'm just right here. Look, I'm still watching. Don't worry, I'm not taking my eyes off you. Again, keep working. Try and work as hard as you can. Because remember, the longest round that you've got to do is going to be a minute long. Everything else, you'll get a bit of rest. Might not be much rest, but 60 seconds is the longest you will get a chance to rest. Let's keep working. 7 seconds. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Off we go. 8, 12, 14. 8, 12, 14. Now, if necessary, move yourself to another, to an easier version of the burpee. So there are options to keep you working. Now, this is less about the movement standard. This is about just keeping your heart rate elevated as much as possible. This is all about trying to keep your heart rate elevated as much as possible. So I've got my numbers ready now. So one option is, yeah, I'm still on screen, is to do an elevated hands burpee. So you can put your hands on an elevated surface. It's a much quicker version of the burpee. Much easier because you're not having to shift your body weight as far. But again, it allows you to get in more numbers quicker. Your mountain climbers, again, you could do that on an elevated surface, or you could change it into something like high knees. But again, do it as you see fit. Your other option, again, as we talked about with failure, is to come back. 2, 1, let's go. Next round. So we're 9, 13, 15. 9, 13, 15 now. Okay, so those are your options. 9, 13, 15. So again, push through this. This gets harder and harder and harder, especially if you have chosen the hard option. You have to really be moving if you've chosen the hard option. I suspect, actually no, that's not fair. I don't know if anybody has chosen the hard option because it is relatively brutal. So everybody will be in double figures in the next round. And this is tough when once everybody gets into the double figures. If everybody's made it that far, I'll be very happy, very impressed. But again, it doesn't matter how far you've made it. As long as you worked as hard as you could, as long as you don't give up, you try and keep pushing yourself all the way through. 3, 2, 1, let's go. So we're 10, 14, 16. 10, 14, 16. Those are your 3 options this time. So let's keep working. Let's keep working. So 10, 14, 16. Again, whatever version of burpee you choose. So again, you could do that hands elevated burpee, or if you've been doing chest to floor, just do the straight arm variation that I did before. That is absolutely fine. It's absolutely acceptable. The goal in this one is to keep your heart rate elevated as much as possible. Okay, we're going to try and really work on that cardiovascular fitness in this section, because we've already worked on the strength in the middle section after the warm-up. So let's keep working. Like I say, it is a grand total of 15 minutes. That's all it is. That is all it is. 10 seconds. So we move on to the next one. 10 seconds. Let's say we're all odd. 2, 1. Let's go. 11, 15, 17. 11, 15, 17. Those are your numbers now. Those are your numbers now. Let's see if I can join in with this one. So again, you've still got your 20 mountain climbers as well. That is your challenge. That's the hard part. So again, 11. That's 11. That's 10 on each leg. So again, it's about getting that heart rate up. Even if you choose an easier exercise because you need a little bit more rest, it's still going to elevate your heart rate. You can hear it in me, but the gasping for air after doing 1 round in every 5. You're up to number 12, 16, or 18. Number 12, 16, or 18. Off we go. Again, if you've reached that failure point, take it back 4 and go again. Your other option, again, you can play about with this, okay? So again, see what suits you best, okay? See what suits you best. Do you find the burpees the hardest? Maybe just do the burpees and leave the mountain climbers out of it. Maybe just do the mountain climbers every time. It may be enough at this stage that you just do 20 mountain climbers on each side. It's absolutely fine. It's about getting that heart rate up. Looking good though, guys, looking good. So up to in 7 seconds time, 7 seconds time. This is the last one to hit 13 now. So we've got 13, 17, 19. 13, 17, 19. That's absolutely nail it. You have got this plus 1 more round, okay? 1 more round. This is good. Really drive those knees up nice and high if you're going for the high knees. See a couple of people there, that's good. Just make sure you keep working. At this stage, with 1 minute left, well, 1 minute and 22 seconds left, should be gasping for air. Our final round and the hardest round will be 14, 18, or 20. You know, when it gets to these numbers, I don't think there is an easy option. So 14, 18, or 20. Ready? Let's go. Last round. I don't care now if you're gasping for air. Just go 14, 18, 20. 14, 18, 20. Forget about the mountain climbers in this final round. Just get the burpees done as hard and as fast as you can possibly go. Okay, so this is it. This is the last one. I don't know why I'm looking at my watch. It's on the timer. You've got 40 seconds left. 40 seconds left. Okay, 2/3 of a minute. Okay, 2/3 of a minute. So from what I've seen so far, everybody that's on this video is capable of doing 40 seconds of work, okay? The previous 14 minutes, who cares? This part here, I want you to work as hard as you can, okay? Right to the very end, you have got 22 seconds remaining, 22 seconds remaining. This is everything you've got to do. We are done after this. All we're going to do is a little bit of flexibility just to finish off. That is all it's going to be. So keep working right to the very end. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. We are Finished. Guys, we are finished. Turn that off. Nice work. Okay, guys. Fantastic job. Lie yourself down on the floor. I know that one's fairly brutal. As I said, I chose the easy option and copped out about 5 minutes in as well. So well done for everybody that completed all 15 minutes. Even if you failed before that 15 minutes, well done for keeping going and doing the slightly easier option. Everything is about pushing that little bit further than we did before. Okay, so just because you didn't make it to the end does not count as failure. Every single step of that will make you fitter. Every single step of that will make you stronger next time around. So while you're lying on the floor, while you're gasping for air, let's come into a little hamstring stretch. Let me just shift that out of the way. So keeping yourself lying on the floor, just one leg bent, one leg straight. Leg that's straight, I just want you to come into a kick, up and overhead. Just that kick, using the hamstring. Just go for 10 reps, or roughly 10 reps. Making it quite dynamic. After the 10th one, just reach forward, grab the back of your hamstring, and just relax into that stretch as much as you can. Draw that thigh towards your chest. You can play about with that motion. You're all right, don't worry. My colleague Matt is bringing in lots of equipment from outdoors. And then if you are a little bit more flexible, you can try and shift your arms up onto the calf and try and draw that in even tighter. But if not, don't worry. It's not about being perfect. It's about being as good as you can be. And that will improve over time. Because to get better, you have to learn how to be shite at stuff. Same thing on the other side, one leg bent, one leg straight. Because as they say, being bad at something, it's the first step to being good at something. So you got to learn how to be bad before you can be good. So again, 10 kicks. Following those 10 kicks, or roughly 10. I can't talk and count at the same time. You draw hamstring in towards the chest. If you want to make it a little bit more intense, you bring your hands up onto the calf, onto the ankle. If you're more flexible than me, you could even go with just about, not quite, legs quite bent, but trying to keep the leg as straight as possible. You can go for the foot instead. That feels easier. And from there, arms out wide to the side, and just let your knees rock from side to side. I'm doing my best not to fall off the top of these boxes. It's quite a narrow position to be in. As always, guys, any feedback, you can get in touch with me at Neil Gallagher Training on Instagram or on Facebook. Also, neil@stockportgym.com if you want to get in touch via email. Any feedback is welcomed. If you're tagging yourself in any stories for IG or Rugby or for your clubs, it'd be great if you could tag me in those. Hopefully you've enjoyed yourselves as you went through that as well. So next one, you're going to come into all fours. So if you bring yourself over into an all fours position, knees on something soft, and all you want to do is just rock yourself back into that child's pose that some of you might have worked on in the warm-up. And in that position, I want you to try and walk your hands to one side. So obviously I've run out of stage, but if I had my hands, I'd walk out. And what I'm trying to do in that position is trying to stretch from one wrist all the way down to my hip on the same side. After 4 or 5 breaths, walk the hands back to the center and then walk them to the other side. And again, try and get that stretch from your wrist to your armpit and from your armpit to the hip on the same side. A couple of deep breaths in that position. Use that breath to kind of help how that stretch feels, improve how that stretch feels. Nice deep breath. And then just relax back into that child's pose. So stop stretching, just let yourself sink into in that position. Hopefully, as always, guys, you enjoyed that. Welcome back to the familiar faces, and welcome to the less familiar faces. Hopefully, guys, I will see you again at the same time next week. And because it'll be Tuesday next week, hopefully we will have a plan of action from the government to see where we are going, what we are doing, and what sort of time scale we are looking at. So hopefully we'll have some good news, or at the very least some news in that situation. But if you did have fun, guys, let me know. Tag me in your stories on Instagram. Tag me on Facebook. I think you can do that on Facebook. But yeah, get in touch, and I will see you guys next week. Well done.
Thank you very much.
Neil.
Thanks.
Cheers, Neil, mate.
Cheers.
Thank you.
you.
Thanks, Neil.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers,
See you
buddy.
later.